All right, people. We have to be very careful with how we deal with the crime situation in this place, in this country, because if we do not handle the situation carefully, if we continue to pass blame and not take responsibility, what will happen after a while is you're going to create a mafiosa system in this country. You will have the mafia and mobsters starting to establish themselves, like you see happening in Italy and in America and those places. Now, that system of mobsters started in Italy a long time ago. So when the feudal system started to get dismantled, the protection that the certain people had to protect their estates and their land, they had lost that. So what happened is people were becoming prey to criminals who would come and trespass on their property and steal their farm produce and things like that, and plunder their businesses. So what happened is different families came together to form packs to protect themselves from would-be thieves and would-be criminals. So different families come together and they form their family. That's what they call the mob, the mafiosa. That's how it started. And so these people were operating in Italy. They reached a point where they were not concerned with only protecting their group, but they started taking interest in other things, and they became more powerful, and they started infiltrating the government and everything else. And some of those people a long time ago, they immigrated, they went to America, and they went to places like Chicago, Florida, New York, New Jersey, and they established the mafiosa system in those places. And these institutions became very powerful and difficult to deal with. And the only way that they were able to get a little break dealing with the mafiosa was when they came up with that RICO law. I'm saying all of that to say that the same way that it started in Italy, because people realized that they were not able to get the protection that they needed, groups and families came together to form their own group and their own family. And because of the environment that we have the environment that we are cultivating in St. Lucia, do not be surprised that we have different mafiosa group, real mafia group emerging in this country. Because what we have in this country is everybody apportioning blame. The parents or the people responsible for the acts are denying. Nobody wants to assume responsibility for the crime, whereas the crime is the responsibility of every citizen of the country. But let people continue to play this game, and what will happen is you're going to have a spiral downward trend in this country in terms of law and order. And what we're going to have is a real mafiosa system developing, a real mafia system that will be so entrenched in this system and in this government, that will be so powerful that you will not be able to handle it. And the only way we will be able to deal with that is by getting help from the Americans. Apart from that, we will not be able to handle this thing. Right now, everybody is assuming and apportioning blame, and nobody wants to accept responsibility for the things that are happening in this country. If this thing continues that way, what we're going to have is fully entrenched, fully mature, and effective mafiosa system that this police force and nothing they have, they will be able to deal with that. Keep the fire burning. JB4.